Good morning. Today we are starting our CDE and LDE workshop for the Green Hand Conference. So CDE and LDEs are the competitions that we do in FFA. So let's click read first. There's our standards and our objectives for today. And then our bell ringer is kind of fun today. Who in our class do you think would best lead us through a zombie apocalypse? That's going to be a fun one to talk about. Okay, and then we have a slideshow for today, and you have some questions that you'll be able to answer through this video. This video is going to be a little longer than usual, and I'm sorry about that, but I want to make sure that you have all the information that you need to make decisions about whether or not you want to compete for our FFA teams. Okay, so career and leadership development events allow development for college and career readiness skills, and the competitive events serve as an outgrowth of instruction in the ag education classroom for FFA members. Through CDEs and LDEs, participating FFA members are challenged to develop critical thinking skills and effective decision-making skills, foster teamwork, and promote communication while recognizing the value of ethical competition and individual achievement. So our CDEs are more hands-on and career-oriented. And we've talked about some ag careers last week, or maybe the beginning of this week and last week. We talked about careers in ag, and so these CDEs are helping us prepare for those careers. But CDEs are more hands-on and they're more specific towards a career. And then LDEs are public speaking and communication oriented competitions. So we have creed speaking, prepared, and Parley Pro. So these are more for like leadership skills like public speaking, being able to sit through an interview, stuff like that. Okay, so career development event areas are ag mechanics, animal science, horticulture, research, and career development. And we're going to dive in a little deeper into what competitions fall under these categories. So in ag mechanics, we have ag construction. For ag construction, you're doing like building a frame for what would be a house or a little shed or something like that. You'll have a written exam. You'll do some problem solving, mechanical skills, so residential construction framing, like I was just saying. An example question that they may ask you on an ag construction test would be, most residential wiring is made up of a material called, and then it's all multiple choice. So A, copper, B, iron, C, aluminum, D, steel. And the answer to that is copper. Ag mechanics, so ag construction is a state competition. Ag mechanics is a national competition. And when I say that, I mean that's the level it goes to. So you still have a county and a district and then state, but like ag mechanics goes to national, so you have the opportunity to compete nationally. Ag mechanics covers machinery and equipment, electricity, compact equipment, structures, environmental and natural resources. There's a written exam, problem solving, and a team activity. So an example question would be, the practice of uniting metal parts by heating or compression is called A, plumbing, B, welding, C, transforming, or D, direct current. And obviously the answer to that is welding. Safe tractor driving, there's a written exam, a parts identification, so they're going to label the different parts of the tractor, and then tractor safety and operation, so you're actually going to drive a tractor through a course, and they time you and make sure you don't hit anything. Small engines covers small engine tools and ID and use, 2-cycle engines, 4-cycle engines, ID and function of engine parts, maintenance and repair of small gasoline engines, and there's a written exam, problem solving, and mechanic skills. So problem solving for that would be like, maybe they put like a spark plug in that doesn't work, and you got to figure out that the spark plug is what's not working. Welding, that is just a North District competition. So we are in the North District of our state. So we are the only ones that have this competition. It covers plasma, cut, T-joint using GMAW and small, and then welding skills written. So you actually weld and compete that way. Zero-turn compact tractor, less than 20 horsepower is the tractor. It's written exam, ID, safety and operations, so you'll actually drive it. Excuse me. Okay. Animal science, we have dairy cattle evaluation and handling. So you will evaluate a class, and let me just pull up a class for you to see. See, they'll have like actual animals. You'll look at a class of 4 and you'll judge them and decide a winner of the class. You'll rank them 1, 2, 3, 4. So you'll evaluate a class. You'll give oral reasons, so you're going to have to explain why you chose that. And then you'll answer questions from the judge, and they may throw in a written exam depending on how many participants they have. Horse evaluation, you have a written exam. You'll have an ID. You'll have to ID horses' breeds, colors. You'll also have to ID tack and equipment. Tack just means like the material that you use, like the halters, saddles, girths, stuff like that. And then at state, you have to give oral reasons. And I've had a team place bronze in district for this competition before, so I know a little bit about it. An example question would be, what do you need to add to a horse's diet to increase weight gain? A, vitamins, B, molasses, C, water, D, calories, and the answer is calories. Okay, livestock evaluation is just like dairy cattle, except it's all livestock. So it's beef cattle, goats, sheep, pigs. So you'll have a written exam, you'll evaluate classes, beef, swine, sheep, goat, like I just said, and then you'll have a team activity. And an example question is, the first milk production after giving birth is known as A, lactose, B, colostrum, C, buttermilk, D, skim milk, and the answer is colostrum. Meat evaluation is a state-only competition, so if you wanted to compete in more than one competition, you could compete in something that's district, and then if you don't make it on that team, hopefully you will, but if you don't, you can compete in something like meat evaluation, or you still get to go to state and compete there. So there's a written exam, a placing and evaluation class. You have to look at carcasses of beef and pork, so that's dead animals. So if you're sensitive to things like that, this isn't the competition for you. Questions on placing classes, individual keep cold classes, beef quality and yield grading, retail meat cuts ID. And then an example question is, what does the federal government set as a maximum fat content for a hot dog? I'm so sorry. I don't know why I'm yawning. Okay. A, 10%, B, 25%, C, 30%, D, 5%, and the answer is 30%. Poultry evaluation, you're judging chickens, covers poultry management, live poultry, ready to cook, shell, eggs, further processed poultry. So you also have to look at chicken carcasses. You'll have a written exam, you'll have to place a class, and you'll have carcass grading, chicken or turkey, egg grading, and ID. Okay, then we have vet science, which is a state-only competition. So just like meat evaluation, if you wanted to do something else, you could also do vet science. It is state-only, I just said that. And I've had a team place 5th in the state. The top 4 get banners and get to move on. But I had the highest individual score. They do teams. They judge you by teams. And then individuals also get highest score or whatever. So that covers professional ethics, decision-making, communication, problem-solving, small and large animals in the areas of anatomy and physiology, clinical procedures, ID, health and safety, and medical terminology. There's a written exam. You'll have scenario questions, ID, and a math practicum. And an example question is, Lyme disease is caused by A, bacteria, B, virus, C, parasite, D, fungus, and the answer is bacteria. I love the animal science category. It's one of my favorites. The next is horticulture. The first one we have under horticulture is aquaculture. That's fish. They put aquaculture here because we do something called aquaponics, which is when you grow plants on top of a fish tank, and like the fish feces is what gives the roots to the plants the nutrients. So aquaculture is also a state only. I've had a team make it in the top 12 in the state. This covers water quality testing, weighing fish and determining feed amounts, basic plumbing, ID of common species, and basic principles of aquaculture. There's a written exam, a species ID, a fish anatomy ID, plumbing, flow rates, solution concentrations, and feed ratio. Okay. Envirothon. So this competition is not it's like a separate thing from district and state. It covers aquatic ecology, forestry, soil and land use, wildlife, and CEI. So this is an overnight competition. So they take you and your team and they put y'all in like rooms together, and you're not allowed to talk to me. You're not allowed to use the internet, and you have to make a presentation on a specific topic. So they train you in whatever topic that they want you to present on. They test you, and then you have to present to judges, and hopefully you place the best. Okay, forestry. Forestry is trees. There's a written exam, a timber cruising and estimating, so you're looking at trees. TSI, which means timber standing improvement. Tree ID, a compass course. And then at state, there's map interpretation, forest disorders, hazards, and pests. So basically, you're going out at a tree, you're going to measure it, judge it. Is it good for harvesting, stuff like that. So what is Alabama state tree? And the answer is longleaf pine. Okay, floriculture, that's flowers, covers plant materials, pests, disorders, equipment, general knowledge, and floral arrangements. There's a written exam, ID of plant materials, problem solving, a job interview, and a floral arrangement. An example question would be the male part of the flower is the pistil, and that's false. Land judging covers, this is like looking at the soil and stuff, covers surface texture, subsoil, permeability, depth of soil, slope, surface runoff, erosion, soil drainage, major limiting factor, land capability class, flooding, shrink swell, and rock percentage. There's a written exam, judging, so you actually go and look at the land, and problem solving. Nursery landscape covers ID of plants, pests, disorders, beneficial insects, equipment and supplies, general knowledge, landscape, estimating, verbal customer assistance, written customer assistance, nursery propagation, or potting. Okay, there's a written exam, ID, and landscape estimating. An example question would be, generally, solid wooden fences should be approximately blank feet high to provide privacy, some wind protection, and reduce noise. Your answer choices are A, 4, B, 6, C, 8, D, 10, and the answer is 6 feet. Okay, research and career development. Ag education this is another state-only competition. Okay, so ag education is state only. Official dress is required in this competition because it is like a speaking competition. And I've had 2 students place in the top 4 at state in this competition. And the top 4 of every competition gets a banner. So the banners that I have hanging around my classroom are like you win those for your chapter. Okay, so this year's topic is natural resources, and next year's is plant science. So what you do is you take this topic, so natural resources, and you create a lesson on it. So they're going to judge your lesson plan, and of course I would help you with that. And then you have a written exam when you get there. You have to demonstrate your lesson plan to 4 judges, and then the judges are going to ask you questions and you answer it. It's super easy and a lot of fun, so if you're interested in that, please let me know. Quiz Bowl is a 7th and 8th grade competition only. It's a lot like the competitions you see on movies and stuff between 2 schools or whatever. So it's head-to-head competition. So a student from each team would go up. Whichever one hits the buzzer gets to answer the question. Then there's toss-up, so anyone on your team can hit the buzzer. Bounce back, bonus questions, written exam, and then a worksheet that you fill out. And it's just ag knowledge, FFA knowledge. Then there's the agri-science fair. This is a competition I've never done before, but I'm very interested in doing it if anyone wants to volunteer. You have to develop a quality project. So you're researching a project, you're doing all the research, coming up with the questions, using the material, and then you're making a presentation about it. And then if you win, you get to do an interview about it and keep going until nationals. So you're focusing on an important ag or scientific issue, question, or principle. You're doing specific research and coming up with specific research objectives. You have to use a number of steps. You have to follow the scientific process to collect data and analyze it. You have to be kind of committed to this competition because it could take a minute. And then your teacher helps you. So there are 6 categories: animal systems, environmental services, natural resources, food products and processing systems, plant systems, power structural and technical systems, social science. What you have to turn in is a completed project report, an application form, and a written report and a display. Okay, leadership and talent development events. So leadership development events allow students the opportunity to grow their skills in the areas of communication and professionalism. So we're preparing you for jobs, but not any specific ag job. Talent development enables students to exhibit their musical talent. Okay, so leadership development events. There's conduct of a chapter meeting, and this is a 7th, 8th, and 9th grade competition. It covers understanding the importance of different agri-sciences, marketing strategies, safe food production, and need for continuous research to improve ag. Okay, so the objectives are to correct use of FFA opening and closing ceremonies, parliamentary procedure to conduct an orderly and efficient meeting, communicate and participate effectively as a team member, and demonstrate critical thinking and teamwork for effective decision making. So there's a written exam. You present the opening ceremonies, which we're about to do as a class, or we're going to do that as a class. But if you look in the FFA manual, which you can find online, you'll see the opening and closing ceremonies. Team demonstration, so Parley Pro, you have to show off a privileged motion, a subsidiary motion, a main motion, and an incidental motion. Closing ceremonies, and then the judges ask you questions. This is a very difficult kind of a chapter meeting is the first step into a bigger competition we're going to talk about in a second. And it is kind of difficult because you have to learn a bunch of rules, but this is how the government conducts meetings. This is how any professional organization conducts meetings. So it's super important to learn. And next semester, hopefully things will be more normal where we can do a hands-on activity that I teach you Parley Pro because it's a lot of fun once you get the hang of it. Okay, creed speaking is 7th, 8th, and 9th grade competition. So you have to recite it and answer questions. And it's, I believe in the future of agriculture, the faith born not of words, but of deeds. Achievements won by past and present generations of agriculturalists and the promise of better days through better ways. And then there's 5 chunks like that you have to read or memorize. It's super easy though. So if you're in 9th grade and you're interested, let me know. Or it's 7th, 8th, and 9th. So if you're in those grades and you're interested, let me know. It's going to be, that's the easiest competition we have, honestly. And you'll be great. So just let me know if you're interested. Extemporaneous speaking. I've had a district and state winner in the top 4 in these competitions. So in this competition. So the different categories that are possible are ag literacy, current ag issues, advancing ag through ag science, current technology uses and applications in ag, agri-marketing and international ag, food and fiber systems. So what you do is when you get to the competition, you draw one of these, like a question pertaining to one of these categories out of a jar, and you have 30 minutes to prep your speech. 30 minutes is it. You can write notes on note cards. That's all you get to take with you. And you're basically winging it. Okay. So if you're good at bullcrapping your way through something, then this is the competition for you. It's a 4 to 6 minute speech. So 5 minutes is our goal. And you have 5 minutes for judges to ask you questions at the end of it. But everyone only has 30 minutes to prepare for their question. So it's a really fun competition. Next is parliamentary procedure, which, like I said, is the step up for conduct of a chapter meeting. So you have a written test, the presentation, and judges' questions. You have to have an opening and closing ceremony, main motion, individual member recognition, alternative main motion, taken from the table, reconsider, a rescind, call for the orders, number of motions, using a motion twice, debate, and there is a time limit on all of that stuff that you have to do. So that's a harder competition. I've never had anybody compete in it. Prepared public speaking. This one is similar to extemporaneous, except you prepare your speech ahead of time and you memorize it. So you will type a speech up on an ag topic, memorize it, and present it to judges, and the judges will ask you questions on it. Okay, so our talent development events, which I've never had anybody compete in because I'm not musically inclined, but if we have enough people interested, I will find someone to help us, and we will do it, and we'll kick tail. AP Brewer, they placed at state this last year. They were on our state convention video if you watched it. So we do have people in the area that are good at this competition, so I'm motivated to kick tail. So our quartet contest is one musical instrument only. And there's you have to have 3 songs, and they have to fall under one of these categories: spiritual, gospel, country, western, or folk. And it's judged on harmony, rendition, appropriateness, and variation in the types of songs, stage presence, and you have to be in official dress. Then string band is similar, but more instruments, obviously. 3 songs, a country and western, bluegrass, traditional, or southern rock. The acoustic piano and electric keyboard are considered strings, so you can have those in the string band. And you're judged on official dress, introduction and vocals, introduction of band, stage presence of entire band, variety, and blending of instruments. Picking a contest, you need to pick one that you're interested in. Otherwise, you're not going to want to learn it. And maybe consider exploring something unfamiliar. Try new things. It's a great way to find out if you like it or not. And if you're interested, I can go ahead and give you the materials. So how I do this is if we get a team, you have to have at least 4 on most teams, then I'll give you material to study. I have the tests that they're going to give you at the competition. I have those, and we'll study them together. We'll have practice after school. I'll send stuff home with you, and that's your opportunity to practice and get to know the stuff, and then we'll compete. You can participate in multiple contests throughout your time at FFA, so use that time to explore. Every year you can do something different. Just because you decide to do something this year doesn't mean you have to do it next year. So back to my little thing on FFA. Reasons to get involved in FFA and our competitions. You get bragging rights if you do well. You make new friends, and it's a travel opportunity. Competitions are field trips. And about new friends, I've told you before I didn't do FFA in high school, but I did 4-H. And the people that I met through 4-H are still my friends. They're other ag teachers that I've known my whole life. Now our kid, I consider you my kids. Now y'all are competing against their kids. My college roommate was someone that I did 4-H with. So these are friends that you'll make and keep for a lifetime. Okay. Like I said, there is a worksheet to answer. I'm sorry, this video is a little longer today. But the questions are easy if you were paying attention. You could have pulled it up while we were doing it. Either way, I'm cool with. What are differences between CDEs and LDEs? Career development events are more career-based, hands-on, and leadership development events are public speaking, learning, professionalism, stuff like that. What are some activities that you may participate in if you're competing in the ag mechanics contest? We talked about those. What are the different evaluation contests in CDE area of animal science? Those are on the PowerPoint. What activities does the floriculture CDE consist of? I told you that, but I'll tell you again real quick. So the floriculture is written exam, idea of plant materials, problem solving, job interview, floral arrangement. What are the 4 contests in the research and development area? That's on the slideshow. Which leadership development event sounds most interesting to you? So that's an opinion one. None of them is not an answer. You have to put one. And how can you decide on which career or leadership development event to participate in? And that's also on the slideshow. So that's all I have for today. If you have any questions, email me, let me know. I hope you're happy and healthy. Don't forget about our canned food drive, and I hope to see you soon.